You hear his voice in Efforts for Family, and you'll hear it with his brother Christian as they are co-hosting a new podcast called Life is Short with Justin Long. Also enjoyed his work back in the day in Dodgeball, and one of the greatest Christmas movies of all time, Live Free or Die Hard. Justin Long here on The Rich Eisen Show. Good to see you, Justin.
Good
How
to
are
see
you?
you, Rich. Yeah, really nice to be here.
Yeah, you know, I just got a look from Brockman over there because this has been a very long-standing argument about the original Die Hard, but let's put a pin in that. I don't want to go down that Die Hard wormhole.
Wait, whether or not it's a Christmas movie?
Oh gosh, just
Sorry.
wait, don't
pull the pin?
Not yet. Don't pull the pin just yet. We're going to get back to that. How are you, sir? Good to see you.
Good,
here.
yeah, thanks.
So you're from Connecticut. And so your growing up fandom would be, because I'm always interested, having spent 7 years in Bristol, Connecticut, seeing where that Mason-Dixon line is in Connecticut about baseball fandom or football fandom.
Yeah, it's weird.
Basketball fandom. So,
well, in terms of football, it was, I think, when I was a kid, the Patriots sucked. So it was
Right.
the more upstate Connecticuters, I think, were Patriot fans.
Right.
And so we were split between the Jets and the Giants, obviously. And like I was saying, we ended up choosing the Jets by default just because the tickets were cheaper, I think.
so it's an economic choice to root for the Jets.
Yeah, same with the Mets.
Right.
You know, the Mets tickets were cheaper, and so that's who I ended up rooting for. But the Dickerson thing, I loved Dickerson just because he looked cool. And the Rams, I thought, just had the cool.
So you rooted for the Rams as a kid growing up in Connecticut?
I was crazy about the Rams. And I remember that game against the Bears. They lost in the NFC Championship.
In the late 80s, yeah.
Oh, it was like brutal. I used to have a real anger problem when I was a kid. And I'd throw I was embarrassing.
You'd throw tantrums over the Los Angeles Rams growing up in Connecticut.
Isn't that weird? I'd never been to
You know
LA.
what? I don't know if that was a rhetorical question, but yes, that is weird.
Yeah, no, it was.
I actually giving you an answer there.
And I got Dickerson's autograph, I remember, when I was a kid. I wrote away, I wrote to him, and he wrote back an autograph, and it said, "God bless Eric Dickerson." And I wasn't properly reading the comma. It said, "God bless, comma, Eric Dickerson." But when I was a kid, I was like, that's kind of arrogant. I mean, he's great and all.
Yes, God bless Eric Dickerson, according to Eric Dickerson.
For years, I thought he was just really arrogant. I was like, Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be that good. You got to believe in your own self.
Yeah, I guess so.
Justin.
I didn't have that. I didn't have that.
So did you follow the fandom to St. Louis when the Rams did well?
No, it was around that time I stopped following football at all. Right when I started acting and kind of got out into the world, I stopped following football for a couple of years, and then I got back into it, when I had less to do.
Yes.
And now I'm really into it again, and now I'm back with the Jets.
You're back with the Jets. Okay.
Thank God.
Well, I mean, hey, look. I mean, I don't know. This could be the moment. I mean, if Sam Darnold is the man as everybody says that he is, and he does appear to be, and all the evaluators think that he was coming in.
And they got a quarterback whisperer. They got Adam Gase.
Adam Gase has been great with people like Peyton Manning, and he has survived Jay Cutler not once but twice.
That's right.
So that is something that is.
It's exciting. Le'Veon Bell.
Or experience it, and Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah. You say Le'Veon or Le'Veon?
I go Le'Veon Bell.
Le'Veon Majora.
I don't know. It could be. Good question.
Lev. Well, Lee's on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I go Le'Veon, because when people shorten it, they go Lev. They don't go Lave.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
Lev. I got to use the Lev.
Right.
And it's an apostrophe, too. It's an interesting name.
I think Lev Bell was somebody I went to Hebrew school with, actually.
Nice. You got to meet Lev. You're going to love him. You're really going to hit it off.
Exactly right. That sounds like my childhood right there. Justin Long here on The Rich Eisen Show. Okay, so you're a Knick fan, as we've already established, and you're a celebrity Knick fan, which means you are not
That's
allowed
nice to say.
Well, you are, Justin. I mean, you are somebody that will not say a bad word about James Dolan.
They hooked me up, Leah Giuliano. Leah or Leia?
Okay. Just sort of like she's like the
Le'Veon of like the free ticket.
Okay.
She's my free ticket lady. So I can't really say anything about Dolan.
What's her name?
Leah Giuliano.
Okay. She will never give me that ticket.
So I was going to ask you, do you not go? You never go to the games?
He said a lot of bad things about James Dolan on this show.
Okay.
And he's a bit vindictive, right, Dolan? I've heard.
Yeah.
I don't think that.
Okay. It's been very difficult rooting for the Knicks in the Dolan era.
Yeah.
And then what he did the night of Charles Oakley made me swear off the team forever.
I get it.
I cannot set foot. Like there was the last time the Knicks made the playoffs, so we can figure that out. Well, the only time the Knicks have made the playoffs in the Dolan era, because it was all Dave Checketts before him. So you could figure that out. I went with Marshall Faulk, actually. I think they took on the Celtics in Madison Square Garden. Last time I set foot in that building.
2013.
Yes, and it was during the NFL draft. So that's why Marshall and I went.
Oh, wow.
And then what happened with Charles Oakley, where this was going on behind him, and he didn't budge, and he didn't move, and he didn't budge. He could have easily taken care of this situation by getting up to Charles and saying, we can go to my office after the game.
They just made a big show.
And it was awful, and he didn't bat an eyelash. He didn't move. Once that happened, because Charles Oakley, to me, that's... him, Ewing, Anthony Mason, Starks.
Sure.
These are the guys after the Bernard King era that I swore by.
They're institutions, yeah.
To me.
Yeah.
And to make that happen, I said to myself, you know what? I'm going to be a principled individual. It also helps to live in Los Angeles and not have to worry about setting foot in Madison Square Garden very much.
Yeah.
It's an easier stand to make.
Right.
But I'm like, you know what? My wife is from Boston. My kids root for the Celtics. And I'm like, I never thought in a million years that I would ever be okay with something
like
like
kicking
that.
James Worthy or Johnson out of the Staples Center.
That's what we're talking. And then letting him sit in jail.
Yeah.
So that was it for me.
It is pretty shameful.
I don't want to get into any more. I want you to make sure that whoever you just gave a shout out that gives you your tickets that you're looking for.
There's another great viral video involving Dolan where he kicks I saw that one too, where he kicks the fan out.
Yeah, I know. And he says, save him for Kevin, right? Kevin was his security guard.
Henchman.
Or Durant. One of those two. Maybe saying save him for Durant. You enjoy watching it on TV with Durant.
But look, in Dolan's defense, we got to go to a commercial?
No, we do not.
Oh, no.
Well done. All right, we'll get off the subject here. But who was your favorite Nick of all time then?
Well, I love Starks. But when this is confusing. When I was that age, when I was growing up in the Starks era, I was into John Stockton because I was very tiny and white. I used to be white.
You got a Stockton. Like if you had very short shorts on right now, I think you might have gone to Gonzaga.
And I often have more Stockton-y hair. That's more of a Stockton.
Boy,
I do a great Stockton impression.
By the way, just knew that with the hair, it looks very Stockton.
Yeah.
How's your free throw shooting? Is it
terrible? But I can pass. I like to get rid of the ball because I'm afraid of having it. I remember playing baseball, and I used to pray to God. It was like I would commune with whatever was out there. Mm-hmm. When I was out in right field, I would pray to God that the ball not come to me. Like, please, honest to God.
Oh, my gosh.
This is like Junior Babe Ruth. That's what kind of an athlete I was.
Okay. So there was very un-Stockton-like moments.
Yeah,
right there.
no, I didn't have that drive at all. But I identified with him, obviously, just because of our aesthetic resemblance. Yeah. But so I liked him, and I liked the Jazz. Also had cool uniforms. But favorite Knick of all time. And I think the Knicks. It's exciting to be a Knicks fan now. That they're rebuilding.
Boy,
truly.
You really want those tickets.
Dolan rebuilding the team.
Yeah, Dolan's. He's committed. Dolan's committed. Let's just get out of the wormhole here. Justin Long here on the Rich Eisen Show.
Like he's committed.
No, stop it. He's a Celtic fan right there. So life is short with Justin Long. You and your brother. That's pretty cool.
It's so fun.
Is that why you were doing this? You get to do it with your brother. You've got some great guests. Wolfgang Puck. Latest is Lena Dunham, Sam Rockwell, Neil Patrick Harris. Great guests you're getting.
Been really lucky. And a lot of these people are friends of mine who, and I get to ask them things that I had never had occasion to ask them. Which is simple things about their careers. How'd you get started with Wolfgang Puck? Not that we were friends. He's just started opening up about his family with very little prompting, and it was fascinating listening to him, getting to talk to him. We didn't mention food once. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. We got into food, but just things like what's your favorite sports team? For somebody who's not, who's your favorite Muppet? Certain things that TJ was asking great questions. Who does the?
Well, I mean, we don't just. He's not the Rich Eisen social media czar as he wants to be known, but just willy nilly. I
wondered why you kept referring to yourself as Czar TJ.
The czar TJ Jefferson.
I thought that was
social media czar. Well, that's good.
It's just so fun, and my brother and I get we share a very similar sense of humor, and just bantering has been such a.
So was Wolfgang Puck's favorite Muppet? Was it the Swedish Chef?
Surprisingly, no.
It was not?
He had a strong connection to Jasmine. No, he didn't know the Muppets. He didn't know the Muppets at all. But he opened up about his, fascinating stuff that it would never have occurred to me to get into it. But it's been really fun. I mean, you've been doing this for years. This must be just second nature.
I love, well, you know what? I just do love, and what you're saying is that this show, we can have conversations about life, and obviously having a little bit of sports in it does does feed the sports talk media.
But you can discover, I think, a lot about somebody just through a tangential the sports.
I just love having conversations, and that's what this show was born out of a podcast.
Yeah.
So,
oh, yeah. No kidding.
Yeah. We did. Thanks for taking it in. But it was about 4 or 5 years, and then we did it, and then we morphed it into the show. So, and I just love doing this.
Yeah.
Certainly, since the other gig that I have up the road with the NFL Network, I'm a host sitting at the end of a desk, and I ask questions of people, and then we've got to go to break. After
is there
2,
less
3
pressure
minutes.
here? Is this kind of more hanging out, casual?
No, there's more pressure here.
Oh, okay.
This is 3 hours a day.
Because you have to talk to people like me.
Well, Justin, I'm feeling this is a pressureless situation for me right now. And so this is where all podcasts, Apple Podcasts, where anybody can pick this
Find
thing
it
up.
anywhere on where podcasts are listened to.
Fantastic. I've got some questions for you on your career called Hollywood True or False here on The Rich Eisen Show.
Celebrity True.
Keeping it real.
Or false.
First one up for Justin Long. In Dodgeball, a true underdog story, when the first wrench made of rubber was thrown at you, it actually cut you open on your eyebrows. Is that true?
Yes, it did. It did. It was our director was a guy named Rawson Thurber, who played Division III football. He was a quarterback. And so he would do a lot of the off-camera throwing. So so
it was not Rip Torn throwing it at you.
No, although
so that does make sense though, right?
Rip was that's a longer story. Rip got very upset with me once for when we were doing that scene.
Okay,
he thought I spoke. He thought I said something, which you're not supposed to do it because it interferes with the other actor's dialogue. And I was on the ground, kind of doing the motion of having gotten hit with the wrench, and he said, and I could tell he occasionally would forget his lines, and he said, "Dodgeball was invented by the what's he doing? What the hell is he doing? He's dancing around like a monkey. What the?" And he started cursing. I didn't say it. Respect. Out of respect.
Okay, very good.
But he got very upset that I was moving
like a monkey.
Monkey. And I thought I had a moment where I thought, oh, maybe he's just improvising because there was a lot of improvising on that movie, and so I kept kind of doing it. Oh, this is our relationship. And he said, "No, you got cut." And then he.
Now, were you bleeding profusely at the time?
No, this was another.
Were you referred to you as a monkey? Or?
No, this is when I was doing off camera for him when it was his coverage.
Okay, very good.
So when I was doing my coverage, Rawson hurled it at my, and it was like a blip 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 kind of thing, and they tried to close it up quickly, and we just didn't have the time. So that was, I think, the first and only take. Or maybe the second.
I hope it's it.
Yeah.
That was it.
That day, there was another day where they didn't want me to drive home. I remember because we did a montage where I was just getting pummeled with balls that were coming out of I guess pitching machine.
Right.
And I was trying to get it to hit me in. We call these the comedy zone. You want to get a close shot of it. These are the comedy zones, the genitals and the head.
Well, it's also the strike zone.
Yes,
if you will.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, I'm in a different line of business, so I got the comedy. Yeah. Or the strike zone, sure. So it hit me so many times. They didn't let me. They said, "How are you feeling, Justin?" I said, "Good." And they said, "You okay to drive?" And I said, "Yeah."
Okay.
And then I remember that the pitching machine was set to whatever they were sending the dodgeballs out of, and then Vince Vaughn had to shoot his stuff next, and it hit him in the chest, and it came off really hard, and he goes, "What's going on? That's way too hard. That's going way too fast." And he got really upset. And it was such a proud moment for me because the whole crew was like, "Justin's been getting pummeled in the head for the last 20 minutes. You gotta turn that down a little bit. Somebody's gonna get hurt." I love me telling this story.
Second one for you, Justin Long. You are the recipient of Britney Spears' first on-screen kiss in the 2002 classic Crossroads.
Classic? Yeah. Thanks, Rich.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Is that true or false?
That's true. Oh, it's a true false thing. Was I her first? I don't know that she'd ever on-screen kiss. I guess so. I don't know.
It's her first movie. So
it's her first movie. Oh, you're right. You're right.
But I don't know. She could have had a video before then or not.
Who cares? No, yeah, it was. I think it was. I think that is true. She was very sweet.
Okay.
I remember at one point our legs. We were in bed. And our legs were kind of like intertwined, and getting ready to do the scene. And she said, "I'm sorry, my legs are a little prickly." And I said, "Whoa, what are you talking?" And I have these gross. You can sort of see them. I have a hole in my gross, hairy, like spider legs, and I was feeling so self-conscious about how I looked because she was so pretty, and I was like, oh no, they seem fine. I'm sure they're fine, you know. And she goes, no, feel, and she took my hand and put it on her thigh, and it was like it was like the smoothest thing to this day I think I've ever felt. It's like a dolphin. She was so sweet. She was
like
so
a
nice.
dolphin. Last one
or a
for
baby's
you.
ass.
Last
one
for you.
Even less sexual.
We could. Last one of Celebrity True or False with Justin Long. You appeared in ads for Apple back in 2006 to begin and all that. Is it true that you have a 15% discount on Apple products for life?
No. False.
Not?
False.
What the hell?
Not for life. I think that's.
That ran out?
I don't. I haven't tried to use it since then, but I think it was just while they were running. The commercials were running.
So I was going to ask you for help with a Genius Bar appointment. That's not going to.
Can't do that. In fact,
ice?
I had to go there the other day, and not that they gave me less dispensation, but it sort of felt like that because I was used to going to the Apple Store, and it was never like, oh, look who's here. It was like because the people who worked there would watch those commercials on a loop all day, you know. So I was always met with like a mix of maybe there was a little excitement mixed in, but it was mostly. Oh God, this guy again! Like I'm so sick of this face. That's how I interpreted their look to me.
Well, I've really enjoyed this conversation. We're gonna if you couldn't mind sticking around for one more TV segment.
Please, yeah.
We're gonna get into we're gonna pull the pin on the Die Hard conversation.
Oh boy!
So that'll be on the TV side of things, and radio audience, you're gonna just have to see it on the app.
Get a TV.
Or get a TV, or listen to watch us on BR Live. Get on the BR Live app. We're gonna have that conversation. Check out the new podcast, Life is Short with Justin Long, co-hosted by his brother Christian, and new episodes every Monday on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen at Justin Long on both Twitter and Instagram.
I think it's Tuesday, but
Tuesday.
Who cares? Whatever.
No, that means
Fine.
something. I'm just now
I don't
going
know.
to.
Is it Tuesday? Christian, he's in the green room.
Next one is called Know Your Own Podcast with Justin Long. We're all podcasters, so. All right, that's next on The Rich Eisen Show.
For more of The Rich Eisen Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV for free on BR Live or download the Rich Eisen Show app.